And that was kind of like what my thought process was to the thing that might turn this fight. But again, you see that the monkey decided to be completely suicidal and primal in, and Zero walled off the monkey, which also walled off me. All right, so one of the things that I wanted to do before we jumped into Rate My Play is I actually had a good game yesterday. That was a loss, right? Also, had a bit of a rough day in comp yesterday, 3-7. But we played a Volskaya game, and I played it with... So, John Wick is IDD Cutie. If you don't know who Zero is, he's a DPS player, really good DPS player. He's never actually been rank 1, but he's been rank 2 multiple times. Rough. Then there's Curry Shot, who is a good friend of mine. He's coached professionally in 3 different esports. When he was in the Overwatch League, he coached for the Guangzhou Charge. And then there's me, just a fucking dumpster truck that likes to feed into the enemy as much as possible. So yeah, I wanted to kind of review this game. We could actually... Do I want to do this with comms? I could do this as a comm review. All right. Okay, let's do a self-review here. So I've got that open in the replay viewer, but we'll watch it from first-person perspective here.
Bro, why you gotta tell him? You're ruining the surprise, man.
Surprise? I already know. It's not a surprise.
Also, we were playing words on stream. Okay, I'll hide my cam for this.
Feeding, dude.
Perfect.
Alright, yo, line up. Yo, Jayne, can you do the charge off of this?
Oh, good God, no. I actually didn't know what charge he wanted me to do, but Zero was like, hey, Jayne, do the charge. And I was like, considering I don't know what this charge is that you're asking me to do, I am gonna fuck it up immediately if I agree to do it. And this was a top 500. I'm not trying to do... No way, this is top 500. I'm gonna play conservative.
Let me wall you high ground.
Oh, so I was gonna play close on this, but fine. He's gonna wall me up, so we're gonna play on the high ground together. So we're gonna play 6-man box. All right.
They have monkey.
So first job here is gonna be figuring out kind of what they have. Gengu?
Probably Ana.
Also, there's been a lot more kind of like Ana. So okay, so there's the Winston jumping in here immediately. They have Ana, right? So I'm gonna basically just hold here shielding because I'm worried about their nades. So like I could potentially try and get a swing in here on the Winston. You know, I could try and min max here, but I was just more concerned about making sure that the nade didn't land.
Dropping heal, don't worry.
So I'm just gonna hard shield.
Just play right side. Can you right side?
Ana used nade on herself. Yeah, so you can hear me call it out there that Ana used nade on herself, and I was looking for that during the fight. And ID was the one who was actually kind of shooting him, because especially if they're opening that up into the area, in this kind of area right here, when we're playing something, any kind of like long-range DPS, like a soldier or something, when they're out in the open like that, that's prime kind of picking areas. So it's one of the main reasons the box is so powerful.
Ana 1 HP.
So... staying on this box, just trying to deny it from them to use for staging, and then I drop. I'm not sure if I should have dropped there or not. I think I immediately regretted after I did. I think that I would have liked to stay on the box there, actually. So let's watch this from this perspective. Yeah, so here's this Winston staging in. And I got some squishies behind me, especially a soldier, so... We've got, the other thing is that we do have a healing station. So the healing station is going to keep us up through the vast majority of any of Winston's cleave. So it's not really a big deal to just sit here and tank her and force the Winston off. Then as soon as he's off, then basically this area is anybody who's here takes a lot of damage. So survive that initial tank, and then unless Winston gets a lot of value off of his first dive, there's this like big period where he's vulnerable for quite a period of time. So Genji did a dash through, nobody died here, we're all good HP. And I want to just stay up. Winston's going to come back up on his next jump. He gets bubbled. He gets the Zarya bubbled. But his jump is up a lot more frequently than his personal bubble. So he's not going to be able to stay. Like, if he keeps pressure up, Winston's going to be able to jump once with personal, jump again without, then jump the next time with his, personal bubble. So I don't really like that I dropped here. I don't think I should have. I think I should have stayed high ground, because then I could have kept the Genji and the Winston out of here. But if the Genji and Winston are able to use this as a staging location, you can see that my Genji is now able to like free poke on the BAP, and I've kind of allowed the Genji and the McCree to threaten our backline. So I do regret dropping here. At the time when I dropped, I was kind of like, I shouldn't be dropping, but then I did anyway. So I got that fire strike, right? So, and that decision actually is what caused our BAP to die. So I think we kill this Genji, or do we? Yeah, so we trade, but Genji is not worth a BAP. I kill the Winston. but I'd still made a mistake at that point. So the VAP is off, and I think we're just doing cleanup here. So that brig is really low. I toss a fire strike, and then I help clean off the high ground because we don't want this McCree sitting here. Thankfully that our BAP died early enough in this fight, we should be able to get him back before the fight, because they're going to be staggering. So let's watch this perspective. Right, that Genji's poking my BAP right now, dashes in. So that's my fault, our BAP died.
Kill Genji. Mini.
Then I see this. I'm trying to look for him. I'm like, please drop. Went to go fire strike and just got him as he retreated away.
We still got this.
Break one.
Yeah. Kill break.
Where's she at?
Yeah, push her.
I got her.
There's still McCree inside high, right?
Nice. Yeah, it's still McCree.
Curry just tanks that like a boss.
Alright, they're close to Nano Blade.
Okay, fire strike out.
Yeah, true.
I think I asked to get walled back up here, because I want to do the same thing.
I'm coming back.
You can put me on high ground again?
4 seconds.
I don't know what he used his wall for. Did he just like use his wall for coming back from spawn? I think so, but so we managed to get up. There's the Winston jump. Again, I'm going to be looking for the Ana. I'm going to hard shield to make sure that nade doesn't do anything.
I dropped it. We dropped.
And then I see the nade go on to the people that I'm fighting, so I can drop and keep fighting them now.
3 of them are going high ground, 3 of them.
I think that, again, dropping here was a mistake. I should have used the box for cover instead of dropping off for cover.
Push this Zarya then. Can we push right side?
Oh, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, so this is... Let's watch this from a different perspective here. So yeah, I think that I'm giving up that high ground too easily when I really don't have to. So here's this, right? The nade is going to come out right there, right? And I'm still shielding because fuck you. But I blocked that shield so I can stay on the high ground. I should have just stayed I think that there was a call, I don't remember, but either way, like the BAP is going to be able to heal me, especially if I'm just on the edge and my model's outside of the hitbox. So yeah, I should have stayed up there. So that is, again, going to give them good positioning here. Now, I see Curry go up, and you're going to see me try and save him with, like, a tilt of the shield, right? So I go here, and then I'm going to turn my shield to try... I tried to put it, like, between Curry and the Genji so that those shurikens couldn't land, but I was a little bit too late here. So that's why it looks like I'm shielding this direction, is because I turned my shield to try and block it, but then it didn't work out. So Curry drops here. There's this Winston coming in. I get that pin just to make sure that he can't get too much done in our backline. You know, I don't want him to do a primal cancel and finish off our BAP or something with a burst. So now this also goes to hell in a handbasket real fucking quickly. I see that the Zarya doesn't have any personal, and I want to put a little bit of pressure on her because I've got full health, and I want to trade that resource out for a little bit of an advantage. So I see that Zarya doesn't have a bubble. Now, Zero had a different idea, right? I didn't expect that Winston to jump into us like that because we have a Mei, but the Winston does, and then you'll oh wait, it was still playing. Shit. So anyway, so I go back here, right, and this is where I get that pin, and I'm just gonna back off because of the high noon. Now IDDQD gets spooked, and then he got that was unlucky. There was nothing he could do about it. 2 ultimates being used to take him out. So not really his fault. It's not like it was a positioning error, right? So I see this bubble here, and I see that, like, this is what I see, right? I see this Zarya at, like, 175, and then she's already used bubble, right? So if we're going to get some sort of advantage, I want to try and burst her down, because Hammer, Fire Strike, Hammer will kill her here. That's what I wanted to go for. Like, I needed to get that, and as long as, even if I trade the majority of my shield HP and the majority of my health, if I get that Zarya kill and then back off, I'm going to get healed up. That's going to get our BAP a lot of healing as well. And that was kind of like what my thought process was to the thing that might turn this fight. But again, you see that the monkey decided to be completely suicidal and primal in, and Zero walled off the monkey, which also walled off me. So if I had stayed in and we got that wall, we could have killed Monkey. I did not expect the Monkey to do that. And so we had 2 different plans. And yeah, so in summary, I think I was too much of a bitch, basically. We had really good supports. This player was rank 130. So they were ranked 130. We had a very, very good Baptiste player, and I should have enabled him more.
Monkey.
Oh, I'm fucking...
I tried to.
And that's fine. So you can hear me go like, I'm fucking, and I was going to say walled off, but you know, it wasn't malicious. It wasn't intentional or anything. Like, as soon as I realized what he was trying to do, I just shut up. I didn't want to tilt 0, right? It's like I understood what he was trying to do. I think he understood what I was trying to do, and it's just, it conflicted. So
Maybe winnable?
I just shut up. I had no calls, and I wanted to try and let them focus. Okay, so fight 2. Now, this is also really unfortunate in the fact that... Yeah, so they have a lot of ults coming in. Most importantly, they have Nanoblade, which sucks.
They don't have High Noon either.
So
They have no lamp care. They have grab right now.
yeah, so we used Lamp to make sure that we didn't get a stagger, and they've got Nanoblade, so they're going to push us in the next 24 seconds. I've got Hammer, and my brain was blanking. I wasn't able to... Oh, Curry, you're here! So, because at this point in time, right, I'm too rusty from playing ranked, so I wasn't quite sure what was the best position here for this composition. It's a new meta. So I was kind of mixed between where should be I positioning, and I didn't have enough brain power, basically. I was not comfortable enough to come up with a strategy in the middle of playing that was going to actually fit the situation. And I'm almost like 90% sure that when I was actually playing this, I didn't recognize that we'd used Lamp like that. I'm only noticing that now in the VOD review. So I'm going to try and use this box, right? I see that the Tsar used Bubble. I'm going to just be looking for a Fire Strike to get my Hammer. So I've got my Hammer, but they push. They push with that Nanoblade right here, and I currently don't have a plan. So the same thing that I flame Plats for, I am guilty of here 10 times over. So I don't have a plan for how to use this Hammer. And like, I hesitate as well because I'm like, should I be charging their Genji? The reason that I didn't turn around like 180 charge is because in my assumption, I looked at him and then I was like, where is he going to go? Right? And I'm thinking in my head, you know, if I'm going to 180 charge, I have to predict where he's going, right? So I'm thinking, where is my Baptiste or where is my Kree? Things like that, right? And in my head told me both of them are on high ground, so there's nothing for me to charge. So in place of that, I was like, the only thing that I can do to try and save the team is to shatter and try and trade backlines or trade people of some variety. So that's the logic behind this Hammer, but it was scuffed as fuck. So yeah, there's just like a lot of just inexperience here. Yeah, like I suppose not inexperience, but like lack of familiarity. Too many things going on that I'm having to remind myself. I'm doing too many things consciously. I need to have like, you know, more repetition so that more of it is automatic, so I can kind of think about these like higher level strategies. So okay, so here this is gonna be the play, and you're gonna see the Genji come in. So where's the map? They're actually both on point, but let's see how this blade works. Let's see if I was right about not charging to the back line. There's the rally for tempo, there's the blade, there's the nano, there's 3 ults right there. Beat's coming in, so he is going into the back. He goes up onto the high ground though to chase the BAP, so. Okay, so let's see how my Hammer actually turned out. I don't actually remember. I'm pretty sure we lost here, so I don't think my Hammer got value. And one of the other things is that, from playing Reinhardt yesterday, the nerf from Reinhardt's Hammer, they're only knocked for 2 seconds now? Or what is I actually don't know the knock mechanic on Reinhardt anymore since they changed it, because they changed it twice. Reinhardt, Gamepedia... 2.5 seconds always, regardless of range. That half a second actually feels really impactful. There's a lot of times where I'm just barely missing kills when I land Hammer down. Okay, so here's these guys coming in. It was very risky, right? That Brig should have been able to cancel that Shatter. So this was like a dumb fucking play. There's no ifs, ands, or but about it, right? It was dumb. I shouldn't have done it. I didn't get the BAP. I was going to try and charge somebody, I think, or I probably should have. What did I do? I got slept, so. Yeah, God, that was a fucking embarrassing fight. I was just overwhelmed. The tempo was too fast for me to figure out what I wanted to do during that fight. I'll just be honest. So. Yup.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. No, just overwhelmed from lack of familiarity playing ranked.
Kazai.
She got naded.
Yeah.
Get you one.
He's grabbed right now.
Alright, they're missing Brig right now.
That was really bad.
Come back on. Well, I'll do. Well. I'll come back on ball
Touch.
here. I want to get as much CC out as possible.
Nice. I'm going in.
I got the stun. I got the... I think they used sleep as well on me, but...
Right side.
Yeah. Going on immediately.
actually.
If I can get all of the
On the low, on the
CC
low.
out onto me, that's good.
Really, really low. Oh, it's still really low.
But it doesn't matter. They had way too much point presence.
Let's go
So,
faster.
so yeah, there's probably something that I could have done there. I mean, we could probably look back and see what, but at that point, the tempo was too fast for me to kind of come up with a plan based off of the context. So I just sat there kind of feeling out of place and didn't get a lot done, and we lost. So
You want to do Monkey on or you want to do
No.
Ryan Bap? What's the play?
now here I'm deciding between Monkey and Winston, and I feel a lot more comfortable on Winston when I'm attacking, because I like to take space, and I'm even on Winston, I'm really, really good in kind of the frontline fight. My specialty as a tank player is outplaying front lines. I am significantly worse at yes, Monkey and Winston. Reinhardt and Winston. I'm significantly worse at outplaying backlines. Significantly worse. So this is kind of like you'll see this later in the VOD too, but I decided that I want to go Monkey, especially since we are playing Zarya, so I can be a little bit more aggressive. Yeah. So. And I also want to fight for box control here, because they're playing a Genji on attack. They could play it on defense, but they were also playing was it like Genji Kree, I think? So both are things that I can shut down more easily with Winston on Volskaya, whereas like if there's a McCree on a high ground and I'm playing Reinhardt, there's less that individually that I can do about that. So I like the Winston here. I just enjoy Winston on Volskaya quite a bit.
I like
Okay.
your tempo storm.
So I'm up here. I always take this high ground. You can jump from here. It would be a blind jump, right? The main reason I take this high ground is to just clear it out. I don't want a Hanzo behind us. I don't want anything. I'm just like clearing this space for my team. It's rare that people are actually going to be here, but when they do, it can lead to a lost team fight, right? So here's the scouting. I immediately see a Kree. I'm going to be looking for the high ground. I see. Perfect. I picked Winston because I was worried they'd have a Genji even on defense. They do. I'm a happy boy, right? I'm going to jump up. I'm going to get, you see Curry's bubbling me. I'm forcing that Genji off.
Top right.
And here I bubble late so that I'm beneath armor and I can keep poking this Winston, right? Now this is going to be an interesting situation where it's like, especially if you're playing tank, you're going to find these situations like where it's Winston's fighting Winstons or Divas fighting Divas, and nothing is happening, right? And in this situation, I feel like this was because this is something that when I was thinking about potentially reviewing this game, I wanted to kind of talk about this situation in particular. Because this is one that is kind of hard because it feels really awkward, right? You get here and then you're going to see that like this Winston and me fight each other really quite close because both of us really want this staging, right? And so we can get into a situation where like if either of us can use this staging, it's like it's going to open up for our backline to be attacked, but it's going to open up their backline a little bit less. So I think that this position is more risky, right? I can either kind of like force the fight because if he goes first, I have the option of either jumping their backline in turn or just like jumping back on the Winston. And I think that we're like, especially with our Ana positioned here, our Kree positioned here, I think that we're more vulnerable to these kind of dives. And that if me returning might make or break the difference between winning that fight, and if I try and like leave this to go on the Ana, I'm not going to get a lot of support when they have Genji and Winston. So here, we're going to get into this duel because this Winston wants me off, but I do not want to give up this position at all. So I'm just like, get the fuck away, right? And then I finally drop on that Zarya because I see her a little bit vulnerable, and that's going to separate the Winston, and I go back just to make sure that he's out of there. And that gave us a ton of space. So yeah, I was pretty happy with how I played this fight. It might seem simple. Just jump high ground, hold your ground, keep pressuring. But yeah, as soon as I can like force their Zarya back, that makes this gap between the Winston, and then drop off the high ground with the jump, and then I can still retain that option of either if the Winston goes deep, I can follow him, right? So, and then I'm in here just trying to force them back, get healed up a little bit. But yeah. Oh, and this is so what is the other thing that I wanted to look up is what is the recovery time on melee? It's half a second, right? Because melee does 30 seconds and it's active for half a second, but it has a cooldown of 1 second, right? But I wasn't sure if anything's changed about it. Like, if you are alternating between left clicks and melees, is it going to be the same damage against unarmored targets or more damage against armored targets? Against normal targets, it's the same DPS. Against armored targets, it is better, and nothing's changed about that? Okay, yeah. Okay. So that is still the case, right? So that was yes. So basically, meleeing is only 30 DPS per second, right? But you have like an internal cooldown of half a second, or it's like it's active for half a second, and then it's got the cooldown for the remainder half a second, but you can zap during that half a second. So you've got the 30 DPS from punching and the 30 DPS from zapping. But if you're punching against armor, right, the rule of armor is that it reduces damage by 5 or by half, whichever is less, right? So if I'm zapping, my damage is cut in half, so it's 15 damage per second instead of 30. But if I'm punching, it's 25 damage per second instead of 30. So I actually have 10 more damage per second against armor if I'm doing this and punching. And the other piece of information is that it also will extend the reload, so I will reload later. So that'll just give me a higher damage over time. Armor has 30% damage against beams? When did that change? When did that change? That never used to be a thing. God, there's so many things I have to double check when I come back to the game. Armor. Against beams and damage over time effects, armor works differently. Armor reduces the damage of beams by 30% and does nothing against damage over time. Oh, they did change this. Interesting. Okay. So that would turn the damage from the beam from 30 to 20 and the punch from 30 to 25. So it's much less of an advantage. Interesting. I didn't know that. Does Tesla count as a beam? Well, it's 21. Close enough. It's not like the 1 damage per second is gonna matter. So that was one thing when I was thinking about my play last night. I was like, wait, on Winston, I wasn't doing any melees at any point in time, other than kind of like landing melees, right? And this kind of like that kind of landing thing, that's good for burst, but it doesn't actually increase your damage over time. So they thought it would get rid of Zarya, but you can never get rid of Zarya. So anyway, this is another thing that I was thinking about during this fight, right? Is that I wasn't doing. Is like, again, what I was actively thinking about during this moment in time was the positioning. Should I be continuing this duel? And it's like in this case, it's like you have to think that both of us have the option of declining this duel, right? We're taking the duel, but both of us have the option of declining, and we can retreat or we can aggress because both of us have a jump. So there's kind of like both of us have 3 options, right? It's we can both of us individually have the option to retreat, stay, and advance or attack, right? So that's 3 options for him and 3 options for me, which means that there's kind of like 9 different scenarios here. We can, I can choose to stay and then he chooses to attack. How does that change? So there's like at minimum, there's like 9 different decision trees here, and also depending on who acts first. So my head was going like with like, what is he wanting to do? What am I going to wanting to do? Which situation of these do I want to end up in? And I was not thinking about mechanics at all. And this is kind of like in my head, I'm just like thinking about this to the to the exclusion of basically all else. I'm not listening to comms. I'm not aware of what the rest of my team is doing. Anything like that is like the one thing that I'm thinking about. And this is kind of like where experience is going to make that a lot faster, because if this is more of like instinctual, I know that if he does it like, but it's a new meta and I haven't familiarized myself with it. And then a lot of the times, when you're playing Monkey, a lot of this stuff will just be like instinctual. If he jumps, you do this. If you jump, he's likely to do this sort of thing. And you can kind of like know that just feeling on a feeling basis. But, it's been so long since I've played ranked. Unless I'm actively thinking it through, which I have a lot more time to do as like a coach or VOD reviewing. In the moment, it's just like, oh, fuck. Like, how do I play this situation out again? So this is something that I would get a lot better at with time. But yeah, so that's what I was thinking about. But I was thinking later on that it's like, you know, one of the things is I should be able to get to the point where like the meleeing tech is automatic, so I can be doing that at least while thinking about higher and higher order tasks. So in general, this is one of the reasons, like, if I'm going to be getting back... Oh, shit, it's noon already. What the fuck? I wanted to continue doing this review. Alright, I got a bit carried away. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that you want to kind of, like, start at simpler tasks to integrate based off of around, like, mechanics and tactics. And then later on, you're going to be, like, integrating strategy and awareness are the later tasks on. So... Whoops! All right. No, I'm just averse. I flex to everything. Oh boy, we are a little bit late already. You know what would be fun? To get, like, the editor to upload a version of this game that has 4 perspectives. Like Zero, IDDQD, myself, and Curry Shot, like the 4 perspectives. Swapping between whoever's doing something most notable. Interesting ideas. Damn, I was really getting into that solver. I'm gonna have to continue that later, but either way. You know what? I actually enjoyed playing a little bit of ranked yesterday. I'll be honest. It was good to play with friends.